Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. I'm actually really excited because today's video is inspired by a comment that a subscriber actually left on my April TBR video, which was to do a video based on two of the prompts that we received in that video, which was the highest rated and the lowest rated book on my TBR. And those books were actually these right here. So the highest rated book was Heartstopper by Alice Osman, and the lowest rated book was Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. And I'm really excited to see what my opinion is going to be on these. Just to kind of give you guys a quick little rundown, on Goodreads, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes had a 3.39 star rating, and Heartstopper had a 4.44 star rating. So you can see that it's a very big difference on the ratings between these two books. This one is very low and this one is very high in comparison. So I'm excited to see what my thoughts are because I've heard great things about both of these books, which is why I picked them up. So it's kind of crazy to find out that this one is actually not as good as I heard it to be, especially since I know people who gave this 5 stars. Not sure where the disconnect is between the reviews on Goodreads and the people that recommended this, but I'm going to hold strong for this. I'm going to try and go into this one with as little bias as possible. I don't know, we'll see. But the concept of the book does sound really good, which is also why I picked it up, because when I read the description of it, it sounded like it was going to be good. But I'm excited to read both of these. I do think I am going to start with Heartstopper though, because if I'm going to have any motivation finishing this video, I need to start off strong with a book that I know is going to be good, because this would not have 4.4 stars if it wasn't. And I've just heard so many great things about this. And there's a TV show on Netflix about it. So maybe if I love it enough, I'll watch the TV show. But I'm going to start reading this one, and I will be back with some updates when I start reading it. Okay, I am just about to start chapter 2, I guess. I guess there's chapters, but this entire first half was chapter 1, and now we're on chapter 2. So I'm about to start chapter 2, and I thought I'd give a quick little update because this is reading pretty quickly. But I'm actually really enjoying this. This is honestly just so cute. So we're following Nick and Charlie, and Nick is on the rugby team, and Charlie ends up sitting next to him one day in class, and they end up developing a really small friendship, very very minimal. They say hi here and there, whatever. But one day Charlie is running in gym class, and apparently he's a really fast runner. So Nick is you need to join the rugby team. Charlie ends up joining, and Nick kind of trains him, getting him familiar with how to be in rugby, and you're starting to get a sense of their relationship developing, and it's just so wholesome. I'm loving this. It's reading so fast, obviously, because a lot of it is just pictures. There's not a whole lot of dialogue / descriptions. You're getting that through pictures, but I'm really enjoying this. So I'm going to keep reading, and we'll see how this goes, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be done with it very soon. Hey guys, so I finally did finish reading Heartstopper, and this was honestly just so freaking cute. This made me feel so happy reading it. It's just such a quirky little high school romance-y kind of situation going on, and the ending leaves you hanging, and I was just excuse me, I need more. What do you mean that this is the end? I could have read 500 more pages of this. This was honestly just so much fun to flip through. I get why it's highly rated, because this was honestly just so much fun to read. I honestly just want to go to the bookstore now and pick up the second one, because it was just so good. If you're looking for something super fast-paced that's going to entertain you and make you feel it's just gonna make you feel so good. It just made me feel so happy reading it. I found myself just smiling and giggling. Like, it's just like so wholesome and cute, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. Like, it's just a fun little read, and I definitely will be picking up the second one because I need to continue. I need to know what happens with Nick and Charlie. Like, come on. So I definitely see why this was so highly rated, and I had a really good time. So I think I'm settling on a 4-star for this. This was just vibes. This was just a good time. This was just, you know, taking me back to high school days, like your little crush, and I don't know, this was just a fun time. So, but now that went so fast, and now we're on to our second book, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. Guys, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm trying to go into this with an open mind, but we'll see. But we're going to go ahead and start this one next and see what this is all about. Let's read this, and I will be back with some thoughts. Okay, so we have finally finished reading Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. And I did not actually give an update while reading this because I don't even know where to start. Let me start off by saying this is a 2-star. Not that this wasn't entertaining and interesting. The concept of it was really interesting to me, and I was like super excited to see where he was going to take this story. And if you don't like politics, let me just start off by saying, if you don't like politics, you don't care about politics, it's not something that you want to read about, don't read this, because that is literally what this is about. It's very much about politics and right wing versus, you know, liberals, Democrat. Like, it's very much political. So if you don't like politics, you are probably going to find this to be really boring, probably. Or maybe not even boring, just annoying. And I say annoying because I personally found this to get very repetitive, very annoying, because literally wake up and open your eyes is repeated in this book, I kid you not, at minimum 200 times. It was very annoying. I will say that I did end up picking up the audiobook for this because when I started to read it, I found myself very uninterested almost, but I think it also had to do with his writing style was very interesting and a little different, where it's almost like, yes, he's telling you a story, but it wasn't like structured in your typical story fashion. I really don't know how to explain it, but his writing was definitely different, and not in a bad way, but I do think the audio was very good. They did multiple voice actors because there is sections in this where we get almost like media snippets, and they are voiced by different characters, which honestly added so much to me and made me enjoy just listening to audio. Like, did I enjoy the book? Not so much, but did I enjoy the audiobook? 100%. Like, the audio was just fantastic, and the guy that mainly voiced it did a really good job. So if you are still interested in reading this, which I definitely think you should make your own opinion and listen to it if you want to, or read it if you want to, but if you do, I highly do recommend the audio. I thought it was fantastic. My other issue with this story, minus the very repetitive nature, was so this is classified as a horror. And for me, I don't really appreciate horror being portrayed sexually. And that was very much a big portrayal in this. And it just gave me the ick. I personally didn't like it. And because it was such a big part of the story overall, I guess, especially in the people's transition from, you know, normal to possessed, it just took away from me. And I just didn't like it. Essentially, this story, I don't even think I've said what this story is even about, but this story follows Noah, where he keeps getting these really strange calls from his parents saying that he needs to wake up, open his eyes, the reawakening is coming, he needs to be prepared, like, come December 20th, the reawakening is happening. And one day he's trying to get in contact with his parents, and he finds that he just can't get a hold of them. So he tries to get in contact with his brother, who is also really hard to get a hold of, to get him to check on his parents. And he ends up deciding that he's going to drive up to his parents' house to make sure that they're okay. When he gets there, he finds their house in disarray. It's completely crazy. Every TV is turned on to the news channel, the same news channel, and his parents are just acting super strange. Things happen when he's there, and the story essentially picks up from there, where his parents kind of show like this little possessed nature, and they start, lashing out, freaking out, attacking him. Like it becomes like this very, very big thing. Essentially, we're following that premise of everybody who has been tuned into this news channel essentially becomes possessed. And the whole concept of the reawakening and people needing to open their eyes because of the reawakening. It's a very interesting concept. But yeah, I just feel like it wasn't executed in the way I thought it was going to be. I definitely thought this was going to read a satire, like a horror satire. So I was expecting to be scared, but also kind of like getting that, I guess, humorous element to it, because I was expecting it to read a satire given the political nature of this story. But yeah, there were parts of it that just didn't sit well with me. There's a big chunk of the story that focuses more on Noah's brother than on Noah himself. And I feel like the parts where we do actually see Noah and the aftermath of everything that's been happening since the beginning is very short. Once things start to pick up, I feel like it's already ending. And I just felt like there was a lot of stuff lacking. There were aspects of it that really took away and made me not interested and just not really like it. A lot of it just comes from the repetitive nature, the way that the horror was portrayed in this. Like, there were just scenes that just made me feel very icked out. I just did not like it. So, I don't know. I definitely think that if you were interested in picking this book up, you should probably still pick it up. Mainly because after I finished this, I was looking at reviews of what people thought, and there are so many different reviews on this. Some people didn't like it because of the whole political aspect, which is also kind of like, okay, well, you do get that. You go into this knowing that there's going to be a political aspect to it. Maybe people just didn't realize the extent to the politicalness of it. My issue isn't with the political aspect of this. Like, I actually found that to be kind of interesting. Like I said, it's satire, or reads as satire. So that I didn't have an issue with. It was mainly just the portrayal of the horror. I wanted to be scared, especially since this was supposed to be kind of like possession. And I feel like it just didn't feel like possession. It felt like an excuse to write sexual content in a horror story. And I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. It gave me the ick. Didn't really like it. So for that, this just kind of fell flat for me. So it was a 2-star for me, unfortunately. But like I said, if you are still interested in the overall story, lots of reviews I read, really loved this, really raved about it. So I definitely think it is very much a person by person take on this. Like, if that even makes sense. I hope this review makes sense, because this book definitely made me feel a lot of, I don't know. I had to read the review. Like, as soon as I finished this, I immediately knew I wanted to know what other people thought, because this book was just so, like, it's crazy. So definitely read the synopsis of this, and if you think it still sounds interesting, definitely check it out, because you actually might really like this. This just wasn't for me, babe. This just wasn't for me. So unfortunately, 2 stars. But that does bring us to the end of this video. So just to quickly recap, I did start off reading Heartstoppers by Alice Osman, and I absolutely love this. This was honestly just such a treat. Reading about Charlie and Nick was just so heartwarming, and this is very much YA. Like, if you don't like YA, you might not like it, but honestly, this being YA did not bother me at all. Like, I knew exactly what I was going to get to. Like, this story literally follows kids in high school. Like, I knew what I was getting into, but I absolutely love this. This was so fun. I think I did settle on a 4-star on this. I don't really remember if I said that in my initial review of this, but this was a 4-star. I honestly can't wait to pick up the other books, because this was just so much fun. So I highly recommend this if you want literally a book to read in like 2 hours. This was just so great, and I loved it. So I highly recommend this one. And of course, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes is a 2-star. So I don't need to recap this, because we literally just yapped about it for like 10 years now. So 2 stars and a 4-star. Do I agree with the highest and lowest rating? I'd say so. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you've read either of these books, what your thoughts were, because I would be really interested to know if you guys had similar thoughts, or if you guys had different opinions on them. I would really love to know, especially with this book. If you've read this book, I would love to know your thoughts on it, because this was just such an interesting read. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. All my links are down below if you want to follow me. I do have an Instagram and a TikTok where I do post, so you guys can follow me there. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!